The show revolved around two half-brothers, Lucas and Nathan Scott, growing up in the fictional small town of Tree Hill in North Carolina. However, behind the scenes, the cast and crew members were involved in several serious controversies. These include a cast member who spent nearly a decade in a religious cult while filming the show, widespread allegations of sexual harassment against the show's creator, and the two lead actors who got married and divorced while still on the show. So today we're going to be taking a deep dive into some of the most significant dramas and scandals involving the cast and crew of One Tree Hill. All that and more coming up in today's video, so let's get started. Bethany Joy Lenz and the Big House Family. Bethany Joy Lenz played Haley James Scott on One Tree Hill across all 9 seasons of the show. In October 2024, Bethany published her memoir called Dinner for Vampires: Life on a Cult TV Show While Also in an Actual Cult. In the memoir, she revealed that for nearly a decade while she was filming One Tree Hill, she was also a member of a high-control religious group known as the Big House Family. In interviews promoting the book, Bethany explained how she became involved in the group. She was only a child who had recently moved to Los Angeles and was looking for community and belonging. She initially joined what appeared to be a Bible studies group made up of other people who worked in the entertainment industry. However, according to Bethany, the group changed significantly after the arrival of an outside pastor. In an interview on Good Morning America in October 2024, she said about this pastor, quote, "I think he just saw a lot of young professionals and got dollar signs in his eyes and went, 'Oh, I know what I can do here.'" The group reportedly used tactics described as, quote, "a slowly woven web of manipulation, abuse, and fear." And Bethany has described internal group meetings that she compared to Maoist struggle sessions. She also said that minders were assigned to monitor her while she was on set filming the show. When Bethany landed the role on One Tree Hill in 2003 and moved to North Carolina to begin filming, the group encouraged her to live separately from the rest of the cast. According to her memoir, her co-star Tyler Hilton, who played Chris on the show, once asked her directly whether she was in a cult, having heard that a magazine was preparing to run a story about it. She denied it at the time, saying in her memoir that she did not realise at that point that she was in a cult, and the magazine story was never published. Bethany has also said that she married the son of the group's leader, referred to in the memoir by the pseudonym QB. She described it as essentially a marriage of convenience, and said in a 2024 interview on the Call Her Daddy podcast that the group's leader had been the one who set the wedding date 8 weeks after catching her and QB in what she described as, quote, an innocent situation. On top of this, Bethany said that she lost approximately $2 million of her earnings from One Tree Hill during her time in the cult. In an interview with Good Morning America, she said about the money, quote, "I don't know if it's buried in a hole somewhere. I don't know if it's all just been spent." Bethany later explained that becoming a mother was a big factor in her decision to eventually leave the cult, because she did not want her daughter to grow up in the same environment. She left the Big House Family in 2012, the same year that One Tree Hill ended. Bethany's memoir later became a New York Times bestseller. She revealed that her fellow cast members were largely unaware of what she was going through during the filming of the show. She explained that one of the effects of being in the cult was that it made it harder for her to form close connections with people outside of the group. And this is partly why she and her co-stars Sophia Bush and Hilary Burton, who played Brooke and Peyton respectively, only developed a genuinely close friendship after the show in recent years. The three of them now host a rewatch podcast together called Drama Queens. And this podcast is what led to some genuinely shocking allegations coming out about the show's creator, so let's talk about that now. Mark Schwann and the harassment allegations. Mark Schwann is an American screenwriter, director and producer who is best known for creating One Tree Hill and was the creator and showrunner for the entirety of the show. In November 2017, a writer named Audrey posted a thread on Twitter where she described the behaviour of a male showrunner who she had previously worked for. She described being subjected to frequent and unwanted touching, alleged that he had shown members of the production staff intimate photos of an actress that he was in a relationship with without that person's knowledge, and that he had tried to talk her writing partner out of getting married and into pursuing a relationship with him instead. Audrey did not say the name of the showrunner in her original thread. However, because multiple women who had worked on One Tree Hill started expressing support for her, including Sophia, Hillary and Bethany, it became pretty obvious that the person in question was Mark Schwann. A joint letter signed by 18 women who had worked on One Tree Hill, including both cast and crew members, was subsequently published by Variety. The letter described Mark's behaviour as, quote, an open secret, and stated that many of the people involved had been, quote, manipulated psychologically and emotionally during the filming of the show. The people who signed the letter included Sophia, Hillary and Bethany, as well as Jana Kramer, who played Alex, and Danielle Ackles, who played Rachel, among several others. The total number of women who eventually came forward was 43. Sophia spoke in more detail about her own experience in a 2018 interview on the Andy Cohen live show. She described the first time Mark grabbed her on set, saying, quote, I hit him in front of 6 other producers and I hit him effing hard. She also described a pattern of behaviour that included what she called an obsessive focus on a particular actress on the show, which she said resulted in Mark attempting to knock on that actress's hotel room door in the middle of the night, leading to the actress being moved to a different room. Hillary discussed some specific incidents in more detail on the Drama Queens podcast in 2023. She talked about a trip that she and Mark went on together to Honey Grove, Texas during the filming of season 4, which was to announce to a local high school that the show would be filming there. Hillary alleged that on the flight back, Mark assaulted her, and that a further incident occurred in a car journey shortly afterwards. She also alleged that Mark then went directly to set and falsely told a castmate that he and Hillary had been romantically involved during the trip. Hillary explained that she had told people about the incidents at the time, saying, quote, oh, I did. I told all sorts of people. Honey, I told everybody. She also recalled a separate incident at a bar where Mark grabbed her in front of other people, including her boyfriend at the time. Apparently, Chad Michael Murray, the lead actor who played Lucas, walked up to Mark and confronted him directly. Hillary said Chad was able to do this because, quote, he knew our boss hated him anyway, which meant that he had less to lose professionally than other people on the show who had stayed silent. Sophia added that, quote, he had the most power, so he could come up and shove our boss off you and get in a fight, and I'm glad he did. Hillary also described a shocking incident from season 5, where Mark wrote himself into an episode of the show as a minor character, specifically so that his character could have a scene hugging her character. She said on the Drama Queens podcast that at the time, she and Mark were not on speaking terms in real life, and she received the script and saw that he had inserted himself into a scene with her, and she said it was, quote, so creepy. To protect herself during the filming of that scene, Hillary invited her father to the set, who apparently made his presence known by cracking bull whips in the parking lot. In a different story shared by Hillary and Danielle on the podcast, Mark also allegedly told a subsequent employer of Hillary's that she had been problematic to work with on One Tree Hill. After One Tree Hill finished, Mark began working on a different show called The Royals. However, in November 2017, he was suspended from the show. 25 cast members and crew members from the Royals released their own open letter accusing Mark of, quote, repeated unwanted sexual harassment. Mark was then permanently fired from the show in December 2017, following a separate investigation by the production company. He has not publicly responded to any of the allegations made against him, either from the One Tree Hill cast or from the Royals. But his reputation has now been damaged forever, and this has become one of the biggest behind-the-scenes scandals from One Tree Hill. Sophia Bush and Chad Michael Murray. Two of the show's lead cast members, Sophia Bush and Chad Michael Murray, began a relationship after meeting on set in 2003. Chad played Lucas Scott and Sophia played Brooke Davis, and their characters were also involved in a romantic storyline during the course of the show. The two actors got engaged in 2004 and married in April 2005 during the show's second season in a ceremony attended by around 200 guests. 5 months later, however, in September 2005, they announced their separation. Sophia filed a request for an annulment on the grounds of fraud, but it was denied by the court. There were also rumours that Chad had had an affair with Paris Hilton after the two of them starred in the movie together House of Wax. Their divorce was then later finalised in December 2006. Despite the breakdown of their marriage, both actors remained on the show and continued to work together. Chad did not leave One Tree Hill until the end of season 6 in 2009, and Sophia remained on the show until it ended in 2012, meaning that Sophia and Chad had to film love scenes together, even though they were going through a divorce in real life. In a 2018 interview on Dax Shepard's Armchair Expert podcast, Sophia said that the way the producers had handled the breakdown of the relationship was, quote, really deeply inappropriate to both of us. She explained that the producers had run TV ads about their real-life divorce, and that the writers had a habit of writing actors' personal circumstances into storylines, not just in her case, but in the case of many other cast members as well, and she described this as, quote, opportunistic and ugly. In a separate 2018 interview with Andy Cohen, Sophia also said that getting married had been, quote, not a thing I actually really wanted to do. She said she felt pressure from the working environment around the show, and that multiple members of the production staff had made comments to her saying that she was the only one who could get Chad to come to set on time, and the 200 crew members relied on her to do that for their livelihood. A representative for Chad responded to these comments with a statement saying, quote, he conducts himself in a completely professional manner and would never marry for any reason but love. Chad himself also addressed the marriage in a 2024 interview with The Cut, saying, quote, I was a baby, I didn't know up, down, left, right. But it certainly makes it feel different rewatching the show back now, knowing that the two lead actors had to play lovers on camera, even though they were divorcing in real life in front of the media spotlight. What happened to the cast? Hillary and Chad both left the show at the end of season 6 in 2009. At the time, the show's creator, Mark, publicly said that both of them left due to a contract dispute. Hillary has since spoken about how the toxic working environment on set has affected her. In a 2017 interview with Variety, she said, quote, the fear of being forced into another one of those situations was crippling. I never wanted to be the lead female on any show ever again. In the years since the show ended, Sophia, Hillary, and Bethany have become significantly closer than they were during filming. They started the Drama Queens podcast in 2021, where they re-watch and discuss each episode of the show. And many of the revelations discussed in this video came from the podcast. As I mentioned earlier, Bethany's memoir, Dinner for Vampires, about her time being in a cult, became a bestseller, And the book also received further attention when the Big House family's founder, who is Bethany's former father-in-law, gave an interview to the Daily Mail where he disputed several parts of Bethany's story. In August 2024, Variety reported that a sequel series to One Tree Hill was in development with Netflix, with Sophia, Hillary and their co-star Daniil serving as executive producers, and they are expected to reprise their roles. The new series is reportedly set about 20 years after the original show, with Brooke and Peyton now parents of teenagers. As of early 2026, the series does not appear to have been officially greenlit by Netflix. In March 2026, Sophia said at an event that she was, quote, very aware of what's happening to media right now, and described herself as patient if nothing else, without going into further detail. Chad, who arguably played the lead character, told Variety in 2024 that he had not been approached so far about the sequel series, so it's unclear if he will be involved or not. And as I said earlier, the original show's creator, Mark, has not publicly addressed any of the serious allegations made against him, but due to the nature of the allegations, it's unlikely that he would be involved in the sequel. So there you go, there was a video about some of the behind the scenes dramas and scandals involving the cast and crew of One Tree Hill. Were you aware of any of these scandals before? And would you like to see the One Tree Hill sequel series actually happen? Let me know in the comments. If you want to get early access to my videos as well as other benefits, please consider becoming a member of my YouTube channel. It just costs a few dollars a month and it does really help to support the channel, and I'll put a link to that in the description. Please like and comment on this video because it does help to boost it in the algorithm and promote it to more people. And please make sure you hit that subscribe button if you like these videos because it does make a big difference to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll join me again in some future videos. Thank you so much, bye!